Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Aida Rodriguez, with a special episode of Truth Serum. I wanted to log on. I have not been on social media, so I have it's been brought to my attention as of in the last hour that we in the United States of America are in turmoil. And I wanted to just simply talk to the people that show up for a truth serum in this moment where we're feeling, all of this stuff happening. First of all, I want to tell Black and brown people, stand back and stand down. I just want to I had to get that off of my chest. I am simply just in awe of the way that things have been happening and just paying attention to the difference of the treatment of people from the Black Lives Matter and the protests for people of color, Black people in this country. And now what's happening in this country is it just shines a light on how distinctly different the treatment is of Black people and people of color with regards to their First Amendment rights. Now, let's be clear. Someone got shot at the Capitol. A woman has been shot. That is not the exercising of a First Amendment right. That is, terrorism on U.S. soil. I believe that the last time that the Capitol was invaded was in 1812 by the British. This is happening by U.S. citizens. So, what has been happening in this country in the last 4 years is that people are fed up. They have had it. And it doesn't matter what political party you subscribe to. It is the majority of the people in this country who are not part of that top 1% who are struggling right now. We have this pandemic gone wild. People are in economic duress. People are struggling. Politicians on both sides of the aisle being negotiable, getting money from donors, living their best lives while the people struggle, and people are frustrated. They're being misinformed by mainstream media. Many people getting their information from social media feeds, living on Facebook. And we all know, and those of you who don't, that these algorithms are tailored to your liking. So you're only getting the information that they think you need to have. Therefore, you don't know what the real information is because you're not accessing it. So what is happening in this country is something that's been coming a long time coming. And when we see that people are, protesting by way of privilege, just think about how these people have been misinformed, emotionally driven, and poked and prodded into doing this. They've been provoked because someone is upset. Someone is upset that they didn't get what they wanted, and thought that 74 million people were going to show up in Washington, D.C., when we know good and well that a lot of those 74 million people are in the closet about being supporters of Donald Trump. So I'm just sitting here. I want to read your comments. I want to see what you have to say. I want to know what's going on with you. I know that if you are in Washington, D.C., if you have not read and if you don't know, there is a curfew today at 6 p.m. Please be off the roads, because if you are in a car, you're on a bike, you are walking, you will be swept up, because that is what's happening as a result of these people behaving the way that they need to behave. I did not watch Joe Biden's address. I understand how the people feel. We have lost faith in the government. We've lost faith in the mainstream media. People are constantly lying to us, which is why so many of us don't know what's happening. We feel that we're being misinformed. You see these numbers raging, these pandemic numbers raging. I'm in one of the top 3 places that have the top 3 cities in America that have more coronavirus cases than any other place in the world, not the United States, in the world. A pandemic that has been politicized so badly that people are dying because they are misinformed. Our healthcare system has been exposed for the inadequate system that it is and overwhelmed at the same time because of the lack of proper information being given to the citizens of the United States of America. Why would they invest their faith in known liar Donald Trump? Because they feel like everybody is lying. They feel like they're all liars, and not to release Trump from the responsibility of all of the stuff that he has caused in this country. But the reality of it is that he is not alone. A lot of people participated in enabling Donald Trump, and now they're trying to distance themselves from him because it's reared its ugly head, right? So now that everybody is like, oh, no, this is not American. We need to do this. We need to stop behaving this way. This is not American. This is American. America was built on revolution. America was built on bloodshed. It was built on fighting, and it's been doing it ever since. It is only shameful. It is only embarrassing. It's only bad when the privileged feel uncomfortable. But this is what America has been to many people for a very long time, specifically people from marginalized groups. So I just wanted to say that in this moment, those of us who are at home and are not participating in this, don't. This is not Black people, brown people, stay out of the way, because if they're taking, as I just found out, selfies with police officers inside the Capitol that they stormed in, we know who these people are. It's never been a secret to those of us who come from the places who are continuously plagued by the behaviors of these people. So we are just sitting in the back, and we're going to stand back and stand down. We're not going to participate in this. We're going to watch, and we're going to see what happens. And we're going to see how law enforcement treats these protesters versus the protesters that were out there fighting in the name of equality, justice, freedom, and decency, downright decency, And listen, I know a lot of you send me messages of hate and you're angry. Employ that anger towards the upper management, the people who actually control and determine the way that you live your life. I am powerless in this. Sending me messages of hate is not going to help your cause. I have no power in your life. If you don't like my opinion or my point of view, just turn it off. You don't have to watch. You don't have to watch me. I don't have any power, but direct your energy and your anger and your frustration to those who have their foot on your neck, because it's not me. The Puerto Rican woman that lives in Los Angeles who tells jokes for a living is not affecting the way that you live. So please redirect your energy to those who are keeping you down, keeping you back, making sure you don't have, because that's exactly what's happening. Now, I wanted to say, yes, the Democrats regained the Senate. And we want to know, what does that mean? What's going to happen? What's going to happen for us? Is life going to get better in those communities that you rallied and you asked us to show up for you? Is life going to get better for the Breonna Taylors of the world, who are the Black women who showed up in numbers? Right? The Latina women who showed up in numbers and places like Arizona. Is life going to get better for the people of Chicago? Is life going to get better in Los Angeles and in every community where people got up and showed up for you? Not just in Georgia, but throughout the country. So that's what we want to know. You got the Senate. What's going to happen? Is minimum wage going to go up? Is the healthcare system going to be addressed and improved? Education. What about education? Because a lot of the things that we are experiencing right now, that we are seeing in this very moment, it's because of the inadequacies and the failed education system in America. How many people in this country have you witnessed who are ill-informed about what's happening? A whole lot of them. So yes, you regained the Senate. Hooray. What's going to happen? What is this administration, right, that was continuously parading its Black and brown allies and saying, we are going to show up for you. Please show up for us. Are you really going to show up for us? We want to know. You got the Senate? Good. What you gonna do? Those are the questions that people have, and these are the questions that we want answered. We want to make sure that the dollars and that are allocated to our communities actually go to our communities to make our communities better. Are you going to address the issue of law enforcement in this country, and the I don't even know how to describe it anymore, because I don't even know if there's a word. What are we going to do? How are we going to improve the relations between the citizens of the United States and law enforcement? And I mean all citizens, Black and brown citizens, white, poor people. How are we going to improve these relations? Because we have a problem. We have a lot of problems in this country, and we heard them run them all off during the election, saying, we're going to fix this. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. What are we going to do? And listen, I'm telling you, hold these motherfuckers accountable. The commissioners, every single, the sheriffs, the judges, the superintendents, hold them accountable. Do not take your foot off the gas. If you showed up and you voted for these people, show up at their offices and say, listen, my community we live in fear, and this is not okay. What are you going to do about it? My kids' schools don't have the books. What are you going to do about it? Letter writing campaigns, show up, go to the community meetings. We have to do this because we have to demand and we have to execute plans that are going to change the conditions in our lives. Yes, things don't happen overnight, Sandy, but because we've been telling ourselves that for decades, things don't change at all. And they don't change overnight, but they need to start changing. And we need to stop talking about how they need to change and start taking action. And when I say we, I don't just mean us, the people, but these people that we have in office. So I am, some people said they're ashamed of what's happening in America. They are embarrassed. But I mean, what's different than what's been happening? The bullying, the mobs, this stuff has been happening. It's not new. This is not new. You know what happened? They just crossed over and went into the Capitol building. This stuff has been happening the last 4 years. No, it's been happening for decades in America. Are we really that surprised? I know we are over here like, sounds about right. And it's unfortunate because someone got shot. A woman got shot, and that's not okay. A woman got shot. And we need to really start thinking about what the future of this country is going to look like, because we've devolved and it's going to continue to happen because people are getting their news from Twitter. And it is ugly. And racism in this country, Michael Cash, is at an ugly, it's been here for so long, but now it's not hiding underneath the table anymore. Now everybody is going to see it. And what's causing so much frustration is that now you see it too, right? Because we've been saying it's been here. Now you see it too. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because you can't just keep saying, oh, this is awful. This is terrible. Yeah, great. Thanks. No shit. What are you going to do about it, ally? What are you going to do about it, privilege, to make sure that we start making changes? James Hill, I cannot agree with you more. This is what America gets for ignoring all his bullshit over the years. Now y'all begging him to restore order. He can't restore order. He's never had any order. Uh, he has been conducting a circus with animals who are wild, and you can't conduct that, right? It's just marching along with the foolishness. So I want to know, what are we going to do, right? What's going to happen in this country? What's going to happen? Because people have children and they are filled with despair. People don't have their jobs right now. Their businesses are being closed. In California, that they have informed the EMT services that if a person looks like they are not going to survive, not to bring them to the hospital. Do not transport them. That's how bad it is in California, right? Arizona is now the state that has more COVID cases than anywhere in the world. So this is America. This is America. And we want to act like, we want to always say, hey, if America is the greatest place on earth. This is a place you could buy a gun. This is the only place where you could. This is the only place where you could do this. This is the only place that keeps saying it's the best place, and shit keeps getting worse. And for all you motherfuckers who send me those goddamn dumbass messages that if you don't like America, go, you go. I ain't gotta go. I have a right to be here and criticize this bitch because I pay taxes to this motherfucker and I work here and I contribute to it daily. How dare you tell me to go back? Go back where? I was born in Boston, one of the most American cities in this country. Where would you like for me to go, sir and ma'am? How about you go back to your country? Because probably your presence here for talking to me that way is part of the reason why this place is a shithole. So why don't you go back to your country? This ain't your country either. It's more of my country than it is yours. I have indigenous roots. What about you? Fuck out of here with that bullshit. This is not True Serum an episode. This is True Serum, Aida Rodriguez coming through. And I don't want to hear that anymore. So stop tweeting me. Stop sending me messages. I don't read them. I'm not reading that dumb shit. All that hate and that vitriol, take that and direct it towards the people who are holding you down, because I don't have the power to do that. And we are tired of hearing angry ass people who are accustomed to privilege complain about not having privilege right now when their privilege hasn't gone anywhere. So fuck you. Anyway, have a problem with the country does not make you as because you want to fix it and make it better. There's no way you can love anything wholly and not be able to see its flaws. You can't love your mama and say my mama is perfect. That's not true. We all love our mothers, but we're like, but my mother's weak in this area. My mother did this to me when I was little. You can do that with your mother. Why can't you do that with America? This fake bullshit patriotism, the fuck out of here with this shit. If you really love America, then you can criticize America for her flaws and love her for her freedom. That is what being a real patriot is. Not sitting around here with this bullshit celebrity worship. It is craziness. And yes, the audacity. Native Americans are the only non-immigrants on this soil. Absolutely. And African Americans or Black people in America, the ones who are natives of America, that were brought here, were kidnapped here and brought here involuntarily. They didn't choose to come here. So yeah, and so to hear people say to us, if you don't like it, go back to your country. Usually it's somebody that's the descendant of someone who came here to wreak havoc. So why don't you go back to your country? And I don't mean that. Go back means I like the status quo. I like my position over you and the benefits that come with it. Bingo. And the thing is, like, when people will say you hate white people, no such thing. Let me just address the hate right now since I'm here. I don't hate anybody. I don't walk in hate. I don't live in it. Doesn't serve me in any way. I don't hate white people. What I hate is a system that was created to keep my people, Black people, brown people down. at their and to benefit greatly at their expense, and then not have the decency to admit it. That is what I hate. I don't hate white people. I don't walk around feeling like white people are my enemy. But I am aware of the behaviors that come with privilege and at the benefits that come with it at my expense. And so to ask me to put that away and to pretend that it does not exist, to have a fake relationship with certain people in who belong to white America so that you can feel comfortable is not okay with me. Because you pretending that everything is okay is not affecting your well-being and your life, but it does affect mine and my children. And that is what I hate. The silence of the other half of the Republican Party is just as violent. Jason, I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that both political parties have been complicit in this foolishness. I think the Democrats who think that they are so, look, Terry just said it. I think the Dems are too slow, soft, and scared. I'm an independent progressive, and I am sick of the slow pace of helpful policies when it comes to we the people and the warp speed when it comes to big corporations. And I'm with you. We are on the same wavelength, because that's exactly what I was thinking. And you said it, Terry. That is what I'm talking about. Both political parties have been complicit in what's happening right now. And that's why they perceive and they label and they demonize the people who are not with the shits as being radical or communist, because that's one of the talking points that they've been peddling to the uneducated. And now we have this. So yes, the Republican Party is broken, but let's not sit here and act like these Democrats are all that either, because they are also broken, and they've also been taking these checks, and they've also been allowing these corporations to bend them over, and in turn bending the American people over. And now we have this big ass mess on our hands. I want to read a few of your comments. Both parties have created issues that keep us divided. Yes. Just because I raise my voice doesn't mean I hate whatever the topic may be. I'm angry and frustrated, and you have a right to be. And the problem when people try to belittle you for being angry is just a tactic, because it's just a tactic. Listen, we have the right to be angry as the citizens of this country. The way that we're living in this very moment, how they have taken advantage of the people, how people are struggling to stay afloat and calling this country the best country in the world, knowing that the struggle in this country is real, is egregious. Coronavirus stimulus checks were $1,200, and there was a complaint, but corporation got complete bailouts and nobody said a word. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see. The Dems and the Republicans are. Okay, Willie, I think they just can't believe it's happening because it's happening to people not of color. Yeah, of course. That's what privilege is, right? What is it? With privilege, equality feels like oppression when you're accustomed to privilege. Absolutely. Both parties are two sides of the same coin. White lives trump black lives, which is obvious by the reaction to the Caucasian terrorists storming the U.S. Capitol. A Confederate flag in the U.S. Capitol. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. This is America, Donald Glover. And you know what? The truth of the matter is that if there were equity, equality, and true justice in this country for all of the people of this country, nobody would really care about that man and his Confederate flag. He would have the right to live in this romantic notion of what happened all those years ago, believing that whatever, that it would be okay. because we get so caught up with these things, right? These symbolic things, that we forget about policy and practice and process and reality. Because the truth is that he probably doesn't live in the inner city, right? He lives probably in a rural area where he thinks that whatever. I can't make any, let me not make any assumptions. But my point is that if we had true equality and what we were supposed to have in this country for all of its citizens, none of that would matter, right? Because that's just symbolic, and he has a right to believe whatever he wants to believe. The problem is that we are in this country have become so focused on symbolism and on being offended by people's rhetoric that we miss the mark when it comes to the actions that are actually keeping us down. And that is what I want people to really focus on when we start talking about these things. And these are the things that I want people to focus on when you hold this government accountable for the wages that are being paid to them, where they are being paid year round, and you are struggling in this pandemic and they're getting paid their salary, holding them accountable for what they're doing. Now, those of you who said you have seen the way Fox covered the Trump riot on the Capitol, I have not seen it. The sad thing is that ugly flag will always back and forth a lot of porches down south. Yep. Holy, why haven't these folks been shot? I mean, I didn't think you could do this. None of us did, right? We didn't think we could do it because we can't go get Skittles without getting shot, right? But I'm here to tell you that this right here is not going to end well. And it's going to reveal a lot of things that everyone needs to see. Some of us have seen it, some of us haven't. But this is going to reveal what we need to see so that we can properly evaluate the state of this country, so that we can actually really move in the direction of making some changes. Because the truth is, I'm not going to keep you long. The truth is that this stuff in this country that holds people down, Black people, brown people, indigenous people, First Nations people, the people in poor communities, impoverished people. I want to make sure that I don't miss the people who are constantly being held down and being pimped in this country. It's been happening for a long time. And now those who don't participate in those communities and realities are starting to feel it. And now they want to tear this motherfucker down, right? We were not enough to tear it down for, right? All of those George Floyd riots and protests, no major changes. You know, from Trayvon Martin to Emmett Till, no major changes. But now that white America, middle class America, is starting to feel the pain that so many of us have been feeling our whole lives, they want to burn it down. And now we watch to see what really happens with the people who didn't believe that we were enough to fight for. And watch when they turn to us and ask us to fight for them. And I will remember and I will continue to say, stand back and stand down. See you Friday.